Told you. Told you. Told you. You what? God design, God design.
What's the deal, boy buddies? We back. So listen, this is what we got going on. I'm going to clarify. I'm going to go over some of my final thoughts tonight with y'all. We just did the 5-mile run. This is a big thing for me. I like to do that. That's something that I've always done with my dogs. So I wanted to talk about that because I think that it's pretty significant. It's Joku is one a super duper dog, and it's a couple key informational points that I think I need to highlight while it's fresh on my mind instead of wasting time and trying to pick up on this again tomorrow. I feel like I need to cover this tonight. Can y'all hear me okay? Can everybody hear me okay before I get started? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Let me know that you in here. Can you hear me? Okay. Just give me a thumbs up or something. Can you hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2. Let me just check myself. So yeah. Okay, y'all can hear me. So this is what's going on. To me, the Boerboel is the most athletic dog. That's what attracted me to the dog. That's what the dog should always be. It's the most athletic of the mastiffs. It should be a big dog. It's like an athlete. It's supposed to be the most functional of the mastiffs. Of all the mastiffs families, there are several different varieties of mastiffs all over the world, ranging from the Tibetan mastiff all the way down to the English mastiff. You got just a range of mastiff breeds, Connie Corsos included. Dogos could be considered a mastiff of Argentina, Fila Brasileiros, and the list goes on and on and on. What I'm saying to you is, with the Boerboel is the most athletic mastiff, the most hardy, the most powerful, the most physical, the most of all of these mastiffs combined. The Boerboel is that's what he represents. So what that means to me is the dog should be fit, running, should be capable. And that's why I say what I do with Joku. I feel like he is the ideal dog. He was, when I brought those combination of dogs together between his mother and his father, I aim to produce an extremely agile dog that was big. You know, this is my goal. And Cairo was bringing in some new genetics. He has that drive. He was one of the only dogs in the world doing the protection in the USA that I saw doing the protection. I have my own male, and remember I told you that I had went through the experience where this is a form of me testing out a dog's endurance, taking a dog to the extreme, taking a dog to the max. And I had lost a dog before, but I stopped. You know, it almost took me out of dogs. My boy ate, and with the Boerboel breed, you had to be careful. So because they will give you their all, despite the conditions not allowing them to do so. You know, like they're gonna keep pushing, especially with an exotic Boerboel, because we have selected them in a way that is not leaning. You know, the athleticism come first. And that energy is what we desire in our bloodlines. So we selecting a dog that can run hard, and we want a dog that's big in order for the dog to be able to get to the level that we're trying to get them to. They gotta be. I had a dog stop to me. My first litter of puppies, I had a dog stop. Right, it's dead in his tracks in the middle of a run. We couldn't get home, and for me, that sealed the deal. I'll never hunt that kind of dog again because the dog was useless at that point. We out on a run, and I'm talking about something light, less than 2 miles, and the dog gave up. You know, about, let's say, maybe 1,000 feet from the house, and you know, we had to call in a rescue, but I said I never wanted to do that again. And it was too it was a too mild of a run. It was too light of a run for the dog on four legs to not be able to keep up. So with the Boerboels that I have, I always have looking for higher energy. This dog had kind of just given up, and I just did not want that. I want a dog that's going to keep up with me no matter what. So Joku is my boy. Joku is like my main man. He's like everything that I believe that the Boerboel should be. He's just a little bit smaller. But if you're looking for a dog pound for pound, it's hard to match a dog like that. So we celebrate this a couple points, a key points with Joku though that I want to make before. So he is a protection dog. He was the ideal puppy. We had overbooked. This was a tough lesson that we learned. You know, he was my pup son. Sent him down to represent for us with tattoo artists, you know, down in Louisiana. My shout out to my man. Kept in touch with me. We kept a relationship as we always do. We like to do for with our people. He sends Joku back. You know, he works with Joku. He has goals for his dogs. He like to have the dog to be a much larger. Now, the dog was the largest puppy in the litter. You can take the tapes back, and you'll see that Joku was one of the largest puppies in the litter. So we take the tape back. Joku is ends up growing up to be 120, 130 pounds. That's his range, 130, 120, and it's not really extremely highly sought after stud dog, but he's still my dog, and I love the dog. So we bring him back up, and we did not know that the dog had been protection trained, right? So this is a highly risky situation with the protection training, and I want to make sure that we all understand that this is something that is only for experienced owners. And early in, they had stipulations in the purchase of the Boerboel that they didn't want them to be doing the protection work and bite work. And this is why I'm gonna tell you, this is the dog can be very dangerous. The dog can be very dangerous. And I think when you teach a Boerboel, the dog that is so trusting, when you teach the dog that is so trusting and loving, and you allow someone, a foreign person, to assault your dog, you know, like strike it with the whip, I feel like the dog's trust has been betrayed, or the dog is a very sensitive situation when you're doing it, and it can be done responsibly, you know. And so it can be done responsibly, but this is not something to be taken lightly. This is not really the ideal breed for protection work. If you're looking for a dog to do protection work, I don't encourage you to get the Boerboel. This is not something that I encourage. This is not something that we often do. So now Joku comes back to us. He can't be adopted out. He can only be maintained by me. He can't be trusted to be around people that we don't know, because the dog has been trained to fight humans. The dog has been trained to protect against situations and make decision to bite and engage with a human. His trust has been betrayed. And that's a really big thing for Boerboels. Boerboel is a very trusting, and it has a very intense bond with the owner, right? So when you allow someone to attack the dog, and the dog is looking at you, and the dog is looking at the person, and you not both attacking the person, and it has to be done in a very controlled way. It's only by professionals. I don't recommend that you do it. So now we bring back Joku. He stays with us. The dog is a liability. The dog have to live. He's not able to be adopted out. And that's fine, because he's mine, and I love the dog to death. He will always have a home with us, but he can't be trusted. He can't be trusted because he has been betrayed. And trust is a big part of the Boerboel bond, and the temperament, and for the Boerboel to reach its ideal, I don't think that it has to be protection trained in order to max out its value. I think what you have to establish is that you are the one that is a firm leader, and you willing to engage in. You have an expectation if the situation arrive, and you have conditioned the dog to, in case a situation arrives which you don't expect, to stand as a deterrent and allow you to arm yourself and at least alert and it make the appearance of a threat, if nothing else. That's what a good Boerboel should do. It allow you to arm yourself. The responsibility of the dog for the dog's safety is just as much your responsibility as the dog's responsibility for your safety, vice versa. Like, so you can't rely on the dog to do as much protecting as you can do for the dog, basically, in so many words. So that's where I feel like, because you can shoot any dog as at the end of the day. No dog can take bullets to the head. Let's just be honest, just be frank. And that's always been my mantra too. With all of this dog running up, want to bite and stuff. Then they've also, I mean, that's the real reality of the matter. The no dog can take knives to the stomach. You know what I mean? So when you get down to that, if somebody really want what you got bad enough, you better be ready to save your dog's life. If they feel like you have done you that on that level, or whatever, and they coming for you, whatever. If that's you, Tony Montana, I haven't heard of any situations like that. But what's going on with my peoples? I just felt like I wanted to make a couple notes on that because okay. So this is always, I'm gonna give you the perfect example where it also is even a risk and a liability for me, right? And you have to be very wary of Joku because he can be triggered at moments, and he will go into this mode where it's a frenzy mode, and you have to be careful with Boerboels because they'll black out and they don't know. They just start lashing out with their mouth and they go into defense mode. This almost as if they have went into survival mode where they're trying to survive for their life. They're trying to fight for their life, and you have, when you activate that in a Boerboel, it's like you activating a certain instinct, a level of intensity that is not for the civilian. Most of the time that this lies hidden, most of the time it's going to catch a new owner by surprise. This intensity that is in deeply inside of a Boerboel that no other dog, that even the mastiffs, they don't, because it takes a certain level of drive and intensity and adrenaline in order for you to reach a level of peak athleticism. And that's how it achieves in sort of being the most athletic mastiff. That's because it has this level of intensity, something like a game pit bull. Remember, hound dogs are also very prey oriented and intense when you're talking about the type of obstacles and predators and beasts that dogs going up against in South Africa. You're talking about big dog, buffaloes and all kinds of crazy stuff like that, right? So the Boerboel has to be a hardy dog and a robust dog and a powerful dog. And that's part of this athleticism that we speak of. So it's significant to have these type of dogs involved in your breeding program. If you don't, it's going to be lost within the genetics. So we know that the drive and an intensity is there within the combination between bona fide Cairo and the exotic genetics, because we have ran that back and forth over and over again. It's a proven combination. Anytime you have a litter of 15 puppies and you see, I'll bring that up. I'm gonna bring that up because you're just gonna have to give me a second. I gotta bring that up because that's one of the most. This is all references to the history. This breeding right here that we did with Bonafide Cairo, we had a breeding of 15 puppies, and we're talking about 7, 9 males, 4 or 5 females, crazy numbers, all from the top to the bottom, consistent, thick, powerful, athletic, driven dogs. Hugo, we could run through the list. Joku, we can go through the dogs. Brother, that dog down there, Cobra down in California. Hugo downtown. We got a lot of dogs that came out of that combination. We can go into the Leela. You hear me? Pearl. You hear me? Joku. Seriously, top 10 contenders in terms of when you're talking about a litter that came out producing. So we ran it back to Pancake. We ran it back to Remy, 2 daughters of the Coda and Boogaloo, right? The last litter of Boogaloo, the last born son of Pluto. So you talking about some legendary evolution of the exotic line, all the way going back on top of some heavy exotic genetics. You understand? Top to bottom exotic genetics. And we put this together for the first time with the outcross to the modern genetics with a Rambo, and we tied it in. And then here we come in now with dogs like Joku that is a tweener, and he has the genetic potential is there. You see how the dog interacts with the environment. We mentioned how he would stand with someone else. He would stand with Beaton, and nothing is wrong with the way what he was doing, but he was feeding the dog something totally different, which is not ideal for the athletic conditioning. So we was feeding the dog the kibbles, and he was on a healthy set. And that's my fault for taking the dog out on the run without an empty in the mouth first. Now today he's on an empty stomach, and you see the way that he was able to perform. I really challenge anyone, if you have a dog, this is what I mean about the epitome of really what the Boerboel was supposed to be. The dog went, and if you could kind of want to also run this back and cover the distance so you can see mile for mile, pound for pound, what we said we was going to do. And just like I told you we could do in the beginning, we did that. We pulled it off just like we said we was going to do. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. The most athletic master. Nothing wrong with the dog doing the protection work, but let me tell you about the risk and the dangers associated with it, even for somebody like me, an experienced Boerboel breeder, experienced Boerboel owner since the beginning, 2007. Yeah, that's when I had started. 2007, because this is about the exotic Boerboels. If you did not know what we do with these dogs and why this is significant, because ain't nobody else gonna do something like this with their dog. Nobody else can do that. 10 miles in less than 3 hours. 10 miles in less than 3 hours. If you look at Joku, he looked just like Pluto, the original dog that we brought in from Beta and Boerboels. And then we talking about evolution of the exotic line. So that's what you see right there. And that's why that dog always gonna have somewhere to stay. And if you look at Balto when he come over here, yeah, that's a big dog, but he won't bust a grape. And that's the truth about Balto. And that's why he just gets used a lot on dogs that's off of Cairo, because he needs that intensity and that drive. Having dogs jumping on your back is unacceptable. And I don't care how big he is. Yeah, that's my dog and I love him. But that's what the people want. And that's he is a super duper dog. And you can't take nothing away from him. But he don't got it all. And every dog got a flaw. And if you don't recognize that, you're being kennel blind. So let's talk about your faults. If you want to talk about ours, we ain't scared of hiding nothing. Yeah, he got a lot of wrinkles and a big head, oversized head, because that's what we like. Those are physical features. Is you talking about physical features, show-stopping variety. Balto has it all, but you gotta have a difference. You gotta have a variety that balances it all out. So Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope I wasn't yelling. I hope I wasn't yelling. I hope I wasn't yelling. Give me this. I'm sorry, board buddies. But it's for the record's sake. And this, you could always turn the volume down and you don't have to watch this live. You can catch up with us tomorrow. But I'm gonna give it to you straight, not late. Yeah, it is a little late, but I'm gonna give it to you straight. This is how I feel. This is what's really going on. So I'm gonna tell y'all the risks and the dangers that have happened. So let me tell you, sometimes exotic Boerboel buddies, yeah, we got, like I said, we got intensity. So right now we run a clan style breeding. If you don't understand what that is, you can look it up. We run in a Feeney is replacing a Pancake. Feeney has replaced Coda. Feeney is the new grandmama. So we have several different variations of a Feeney, and one is Pinky, her oldest daughter, off the first litter. We also have Bingo off of a Feeney, her second or third litter. Anyway, we got to retain two offsprings off of a Feeney, and that's the clan that we running right now. It's a one, two different variations, one off Tokara Drip, LaAndre Black Teddy, and then we got Bonafide Cairo. So we got two outside genetics of variations of a Feeney, right, which is a very tightly bred exotic Boerboel from top to bottom, through and through. Then we have Bonafide Cairo to a Feeney. So we run a clan style mating. We got dogs on the yard hanging out. We also are running Bonafide Cairo genetics. Like I said, with that intensity, sometimes you have a disagreements. And how dogs settle disagreements is with their mouths. And if you did not know, every now and then, you know, might have an incident. So I'm just gonna keep it real with you, board buddies. If you don't know, board buddies, if you got gangs of dog, you got packs of dog, you better be ready to step in sometime. You better be ready to come with some intensity that Boerboels can understand. Because this is what Boerboels go through. This is what Boerboels know. Boerboels know intensity. So you better be ready. If you got a pack of Boerboels that is serious and conditioned and driven and ready and active and athletic, and one dog of is in heat, right? One dog could be in heat, and now you got dogs that done turn, female dogs that done turn into bitches. This is why they call the dogs bitches. It's because they go through this hormonal change during their heat, and they could potentially start acting a little bitchy and do things that are abnormal, that they just go against the normal pack and start fighting and challenging the pack dynamics, the pack hierarchy. And in a situation like that, what happened is sparked up a conflict between Pinky and a Feeney. Pinky is in heat. These two dogs normally run the yard together. You know, during their time outside during the day, our dogs spend our time outside, inside, outside during the day, and they hanging out on the yard, kicking it, listening to the birds and the bees, and hanging out and looking at getting in the sun and digging in the sand and hanging out because we got it in the sand like a beach for our dogs, not that concrete. You understand? Because that's what we don't want. Our dogs laying on concrete all day, laying on rubber mats all day. We got them on the beach, you understand, with a whole bunch of sand that we had dumped in. And they hang out on this and then get sunshine, and they be outside all day hanging out on the yard, just chilling and wrestling and stuff and eating beef skulls and chewing on beef skulls and stuff outside, because we want to give them that outside. We don't want them in the house eating that all on the blood coming all out the beef skull, coming all out the head and stuff, and leaking out the nose and the eyes. We feed them that stuff outside, and we let them chew that outside anyway. Then we had to pick that up, and then we had to put it up, and then naturally. So that's anyway. Like I said, we what did I say? Yeah, sometimes I get off track. But we was feeding the dogs, and I was saying that so the dogs is hanging out on the yard, and then sometimes they get to fighting. So I had to take the thing, I had to pick up whatever I could. I can't even remember what that was, but I had to bust the dogs up. I think it was a tree branch. A big tree branch had fell down. The dogs started fighting. Just so happened to have a big tree branch for this reason. So I pick up the tree branch, and then Joku sees that I'm got this thing lifted up in my hand. And I think what that does is that triggers him. And as those dogs are fighting, we have this pack mentality that kicks in where all the dogs start going into a frenzy. And this is something you have to be mindful of, board buddies, because it could be dangerous situation. These are not like the regular dogs. This is not your bully breed. This is not your bully breed that you're gonna keep in the little, you know what I mean? These, I hate to see the way that they got these jail cell like type setups for the Boerboels. The 5x10s is not a win for the Boerboels. That's wrong. That's incorrect. But anyway, we're gonna keep on pushing because this ain't about that right now. So we're talking about so I gotta pick up the stick like this to break the dogs up, because you can't get in there and break them up with your hands and fists. You can't do that. You is so risky to get in there if two dogs are contained or connected like this, and they're shaking and ripping. One dog's trying to get a grip, and the other dog trying to get a grip, and they over there by Joku, and because of his risk, he has to be tethered. So he's tethered, and they get together, and then he gets involved, and now he's taking blicks and there he's trying to do his thing and break them up. This is what's going through my mind, is my interpretation of the behavior. So, and he's trying to be helpful, but his helpful is him biting another dog to make the other dog stop, and then now both dogs is getting bit up and jumped. So you kind of make a split decision. So the first thing that I do is I know I'm not about to get in there and start throwing hands and fists and kicks. My leg get hit and bit and ripped off and chewed up in the calf muscle disattached from my bones. You understand that? Because that's what could happen to you. You're gonna get your bicep ripped off getting in there trying to break up some Boerboels. A dog's to condition and train to go up against lions and grab them by the neck and hold them. You're gonna get your bicep ripped off. So you don't do that. You ain't gonna do that. You understand? I told you what happened to the thief with his leg, the way his thigh meat was ripped off and hanging. So listen, you don't want to try to get in there and risk it. You understand? So you could, with 3 dogs involved in a situation, in an altercation, you got to get straight into it. So I grab the tree branch and I'm just swinging and going. I'm swinging, right? And Joku grabs the tree branch, right? So now I got to turn the branch on Joku. And that's what happened to the back of his head. If you ever notice, Joku got a permanent cone head now. And I hate the way that it looks, but it's not my fault. I had to do what I had to do, y'all. I don't know if somebody else can help me. Please tell me something better. You know what I mean? Be straight up with me, because I'm still learning too. I'm not above, even though I've been at this for as long as I have, I'm not above learning. I need help. So that's why his head is the way that it is. And that's my thoughts on protection training, y'all. So I just gave it. Thank you, everyone, for joining it. I'm sorry. I hope that you picked up. I'm sorry that it's late, but I felt like let me give you something that was fresh on my mind at this time. Recapping and thinking back. Tell me if you know someone that got a Boerboel that they feel like is a top athletic contender that want to go up against Joku, because we can do that ASAP. We could put that together as a match. And I'm talking about whoever but not to nobody in particular. It's all love. It's hopefully for the breed, but I feel like this is what we need. Measure up athleticism. And then if you also notice, Boerboel Joku is a marked tri-level athlete. Joku does weight pull, bite work, and Joku does weight pull, bite work, and he can run miles, 10 miles in less than 3 hours. 10 miles in less than 3 hours. 10 miles in less than 3 hours. Who else? Boerboel. Who else got a Boerboel? Who else got a Boerboel that can take it to that type of extreme? Please. I feel like that is a true measure of a dog's value, performance. Those are my final thoughts on dogs. Well, tonight, I feel like I hope you got a deep understanding of what a Boerboel means to me. It's unfortunate that he has already underwent the bite training, but it is for what it is. It's always got a risk. But like I said, that's 17 years of development right there. And I really invested in Joku from the beginning. He stayed much longer. I was hoping that he stayed forever. And he ended up back. So it means that it's meant to be. But you notice that the dog is extremely hot at. We're gonna I feel like I said or what I said. Can he be improved? Absolutely. It's hard for me to imagine Pluto being only 103 pounds and Joku is 100 and as big as he is, what he is. But like I said, 10 miles in a day, 10 miles in less than 3 hours. 10 miles in less than 3 hours. 10 miles in less than 3 hours. Catch up with y'all, boy buds. It's a world record. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. My thoughts. I told y'all gonna be doing more. We got the exotic not the exotic, the United Boerboel Club is open, y'all. We can discuss extremely valuable information, insider information. We're gonna do more for the community with our Boerboel Club. We're going more than just registering Boerboels. Way bigger than that for us. We actually gonna do something for the breed. We're gonna do more than any other organization have ever done for you. Because that's what I tell you. That's what I really my challenge to you, Boerboel breeder, Boerboel owner. What have a registering organization ever done for you? But listen, United Boerboel Club is much different. We got a whole lot that we're going to be doing for you. And if you don't believe me, you can check my background and my history. I have done as much sharing of information freely for the longest. But now I'm running out of free information. I'm sorry, boy buddies. I'm not sorry because we got to give some people time to catch up. So what we got to do, boy buddies, we got to back up, right? And we're going to do our thing in private We got a whole nother advanced level of boerboeling that we're going to be doing on our United Boerboel Club community. United Boerboel Club community is live. Let me put that link up. The United Boerboel, yes, yeah. Free time is over. Free time is over, board buddies. And for a limited time, we're going to be opening this up via email. You have to email a strictly my personal email. I need to get this because this is going to be only through me that you're going to get VIP membership for free $99. It's the last thing that we're giving up for free. Everything else going to be for pay to the community. And then we're not going to be keep backing and forth, opening up the gateway we're not going to keep opening up the gateway. We're going to do it one time. Everybody else going to have to pay to join because free time is over. Guess what? Pay time. It's time for us to get paid, board buddies. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. How to get paid with the board buddy and the board community, the things that value in terms of, and we're not talking about monetization, we're talking about the most from an organization. How can make the organization pay for you, right? For the first time, nobody has ever done anything like this, what we got going on with the United Boerboel community. We're going to open that up. We're going to leave it at that. But tonight, I think we've talked enough. I think we talked enough. Appreciate y'all. Much love, board buddies. Much love. I really appreciate y'all. I hope everybody get a chance to see this episode. We're going to break this footage down, edit it real good, make it into something masterful, make it into something extremely masterful. I hope y'all enjoying the ride. You understand? If anybody got something to say, we're going to have special guests. We're going to have an open forum. We can always be open to comments. We open to suggestions. Please don't hesitate. Give us your suggestions. Yes, give us your suggestions, please. We open, we learning, we trying to grow, we trying to get there. We get in there, we growing. And I don't know what else to do. Board buddies, I don't know what else to tell you. We trying to improve still to this day with our dogs. But 10 miles, I think that is really significant. Thanks, board buddies. I'm going to take myself home. Appreciate y'all for joining. Stay tuned.